Hi, everyone. Welcome back into My Chamber TV. We are the heartbeat of the Tampa Bay community. Today, we're featuring the Upper Tampa Bay Chamber of Commerce. What we do here on My Chamber TV is to bring the community to you. And that's what's really exciting because you get a chance to meet business owners, why it's important to join the chamber. And our first guest today happens to be Dennis. And Dennis Callaghan is going to be talking all about math and Mathnasium. Now, I know I've interviewed some of your colleagues in the past, and so I'm already a little bit familiar.
You probably have, yeah. Mathnasium is a franchise service, and there's about 1,500 or so locations across the United States and Canada. Most of them are individually owned, with a few center owners here and there having multiple centers. So it was likely another franchise within the Tampa Bay area that you've interviewed before.
I think it was a different chamber. So it's very popular, needless to say.
It definitely is, you know, and there's pretty good reason for that. Mathnasium as a service is built around catching students up to where they need to be to understand what's going on in class. And not only with, you know, a full summer behind us, but also with everything going on right now with COVID that's affecting education, it's more important than ever to make sure that students are completely caught up on what they need to be in order to do well in school.
You know, you just raised something in my brain here because of the COVID, which it seems like it's a topic of discussion no matter where we are. It's necessary to be ahead of this whole thing if it's at all possible. And by the community coming together, we're able to do that. But what I'm thinking about is you are trying to get the kids ahead of the game, because how many children right now, no matter what the age group is, how many are behind, how many are ahead? I had a little taste of homeschooling, so that was really fun. But to get these kids to where they need to be and move forward, it's enough of the mental stress that they're going through. So how can we make a difference with Mathnasium, just you alone and what you do?
Right. So one of the things that we do when we are sort of trying to get a student ahead is our program really starts with finding out where the student is, right? Every student, not only, even if they are behind, starts at a different place, whether it's difficulty with fractions or decimals or just multiplication and division. Every student has something different that they need help with. So the first thing that we do with any student is assess them and see where they are, so that we don't reteach something that they already know how to do. And from there, we have our own curriculum, not Common Core, not Singapore math or anything like that the schools are trying out right now, but our own curriculum that's been in place for over 15 years, that's been tailored to mostly elementary, middle school, and most recently high school students, so that they can get help with the concepts that they need in order to do well in a way that's individualized towards them. Like I said, we don't reteach things that students already know how to do. We make sure that we're teaching exactly what they need in order to get ahead and stay ahead.
You know, that's interesting. So you're not wasting time and money. Time is our most valuable commodity, right? Especially today, is to utilize our time that we do have. So can you walk me through, Dennis, what the procedure is for our parents to look into Mathnasium? I'm thinking it's going to give them a little peace of mind, to say the least.
Absolutely. So when you are looking into Mathnasium, you can always go to our website, mathnasium.com/Westchase. And from there, we have ways to either contact the center via email, via phone, or via our online scheduler to set up a free assessment with us or a free consultation with us to talk about your child's math situation or get them assessed and see exactly where they are. And we make it pretty easy to do that. We're open both for in-center consultations and for online consultations. We have not quite Zoom, but something similar, an online classroom where we go to teach students math online, and in person in the center we do have all social distancing and mask guidelines up, and even sneeze guards between students and instructors, so it's all socially distanced and safe for students to come into the center.
You know, I just have a sigh of relief that we're where we are today to be able to offer this. So, okay, now here comes the next question. I mean, it's pretty easy to understand, but parents are still scrambling. They're trying to find work, keep their businesses open, plus homeschooling, plus this, plus that. The focus and concentration for parents today, I, as a grandparent, had a taste of it for 4 months. So my heart goes out to all of you. What what specifically can they hone in on? Do the kids show that they don't want to do their math? It's because they don't understand. I'm still counting on my fingers, okay? math was not my favorite thing. So what are our parents that are so preoccupied with trying to make a living and survive? What are they looking for their kids?
You'd be surprised how many parents say that they still have trouble with math even today. It's a pretty common issue. And if you're looking for specific things that your child is having trouble with math, either not wanting to do homework, struggling to complete homework, taking a long time on it, showing a dislike for the subject even. One of the things that we try our best to do is build confidence in math, because at the end of the day, if they can't do it when they're at home, then what's the point of the program?
Exactly.
They need to be able to do it when they're no longer with us, when they don't have a tutor next to them, because they don't have that when they're taking a test at school either. But one of the sort of analogies that we make between our program and sort of everyday things that people know is like going to the dentist, right? After you've gone to the dentist, after you've had your cavities filled, you don't just stop brushing your teeth, right? You don't just stop flossing or stop brushing your teeth, or at least I hope not. And in the same way, you shouldn't stop practicing math. You shouldn't stop trying to be better at it just after you've, plugged one hole in the student's mind, just after you've fixed one problem that the student has with math. And unlike with brushing your teeth, you can actually get ahead with math as well. So even if a student, isn't showing outright signs of being bad at math, even if they're not showing, poor grades in the subject right now, you can always bring them in to get them ahead as well, keep them ahead of the curve, because lots of subjects in math are very different from each other, and there could be some subjects that a student might have trouble with even if they haven't had trouble with math in the past. And that's doubly so if your child has struggled with any areas of math before, because math is a subject that builds on itself. It's really important to make sure that that base is solid, that that foundation is there, because if it's not, they're inevitably going to struggle with something in the future.
Through their entire life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, trust me, I never wanted to get further in math because I didn't like it. So, I passed with flying colors and all that, so I don't know, I must have faked it. Anyway, so one word, confidence. We have 3 minutes remaining, and I want to talk to you about the chamber, being a member. Confidence. Give me just 1 or 2 little tidbits on how you build confidence, because my grandson has gotten some tutoring and some reading. He's way ahead of the curve now.
Awesome. Yeah, one of the things that we do for building confidence is making sure that students know that they're rewarded for doing well at math. We have a reward system in place at Mathnasium, so every time a student finishes a page, they get a star on a punch card, and as they fill out these punch cards, they can trade them in for prizes. So it's about building the desire to do it, and once students actually want to keep doing that math, they become more confident in it. As they learn more about it, they get more confident with themselves, because if you know how to do something, you're inevitably more confident at it.
Excellent answer. The perfect answer I was looking for. And we did not rehearse this, did we, today?
No, we did not.
Dennis, you're awesome. I do want to mention about the fact that you've been a member of the Chamber of Commerce, Upper Tampa Bay.
Yes.
And how long have you been a member?
We very, very recently joined the Upper Tampa Bay Chamber of Commerce, believe within the last 2 months or so. So we are very new members. And I'm excited as the center director at Mathnasium of Westchase to be really starting to get more involved in a lot of chamber activities. This activity in particular is a great form of advertising for chamber members. And I really appreciate the opportunity to be here today, because we don't get a lot of similar opportunities every day. So the chamber definitely does a lot for local businesses, and I'm hoping to start not only taking advantage of that, but also giving back in whatever way that I can as I explore more about the chamber.
This has to be really rewarding for you, too.
Yeah, it definitely is.
A definite sense of accomplishment, and that you are giving back, because our kids are our future. We have to invest in them. And whether it's pennies or lots and lots of dollars, if parents can afford it, do you find a program where you can fit the needs of parents out there?
Very much so. Our standard program and our premium program are usually fairly expensive, but we do have a maintenance program as well. We do have homework help programs as well to make sure that students, if they do just need some gaps filled here and there, are able to get those gaps filled, and that they're able to get the help that they need without breaking budget.
That's excellent. Well, I hope we've educated you here on Mathnasium. If you or someone you know has a child that's struggling a little bit, it may just take a little tweaking with some coaching here with what you guys are doing at Mathnasium to make it affordable and to make it doable. I mean, like I say, our kids are our investment in the future, and now is the time. Grades, real quickly. What grades do you cover?
We cover anything from about kindergarten up through high school, but our bread and butter is that elementary and middle school age range. That's the range where you can get the most out of our program and where, if you can, you should sign up as soon as possible.
Absolutely. Give Dennis a call. Talk to him about it. I'm sure he will make a difference in the kids in your lives. We'll be right back. Hi, everyone. Welcome back into My Chamber TV. We are the heartbeat of the Tampa Bay community. Thanks for joining us today. We're featuring the Upper Tampa Bay Chamber of Commerce. We bring great guests to you and really inform you of what's happening in our town and around the Tampa Bay community. My next guest, I want to make sure I'm going to say this perfectly.
Gets butchered daily.
Michelangelo Mortellaro.
Got it.
All right, good. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity.
You know, we were just talking very briefly before the show to talk about some of the different things that you do, and I'd like you to hone in on some of the real good bullet points that we can do in a very short segment.
Sure.
So that people can give you a call, and you mainly work with senior citizens.
Mostly.
That would be me. So
we say elder law starts at 40, which puts us all in that category. So basically, my practice focuses on estate planning, mostly for seniors, but we do estate planning for all ages. We also do veterans benefits for veterans and widows of veterans, Medicaid benefits for people that are needing in-home health care, assisted living, memory care, or skilled nursing. And then we also do probate work for those individuals who have not prepared their estate to avoid that probate process. I also have a separate business, Fortress Asset Protection, where we work with business owners on pure asset protection plays. So business owners, entrepreneurs, real estate investors, those are some of our clients as well.
Perfect. So what is anonymity planning?
Anonymity. I always feel like Porky Pig when I say that. I'm like, biddy. So anonymity planning is mostly for business owners and entrepreneurs who are interested in owning assets and businesses and property without necessarily having their name out in the public record. So you have someone that owns 3 or 4 pieces of rental property. You may not want your name associated with those properties. Crazy world we live in. You have to evict someone and they can look on the public record, they see where you live, and they show up at your house to tell you what they think about you. Other things are if you get in an accident, you know, or there is a claim, a lawsuit against you, and then you're dealing with a plaintiff's attorney looking for assets to go after. Well, it's really easy to go on the public record. You can look at Sunbiz, you can tell who owns businesses, you can look in the county property appraiser, and you can find out who owns real property. As you may know, if it's not your homestead in Florida, it may not be protected from creditor claims. So we have methods where we can allow you to own the property, manage the property, and be fully anonymous. So if anybody looks you up in the public record, they're not going to find your name attached to a business. They're not going to find your name attached to real property. Now, some people, you are your business, and so people will automatically know that you own it and they know who you are. But there are times where we'd prefer to, control everything and have our name attached to nothing. So we can pull that off for you.
This is very interesting, and I want to go back to what you were saying about the homestead. We have a lot of viewers out there today from Florida, live in Florida, understand the homestead. We have a lot of people moving to Florida for a number of reasons. So talk a little bit about the homestead and the protection of that.
So there's really a few different homestead protections. There is an ad valorem property tax reduction or exemption that you may be entitled to. Seniors sometimes can get an extra bump for that, as well as 100% service-connected disabled veterans can often get a zero property tax bill. So that can be important for them. But when we talk about homestead protections, there are really only 3 creditors that can take your home away from you and kind of make you go live under a bridge. That would be your mortgage company. If you don't pay them, they will foreclose. If you live in a homeowners association or a deed-restricted community, many people are surprised to find out they can foreclose on you if you don't pay your HOA dues. And then also, if you have any property taxes that are not paid. If you don't pay those long enough, that someone can pay them for you, and then there is a process for a tax deed sale. But other than that, your home is relatively insulated from other creditors. You get in a car accident, you don't pay your credit cards, you have a bad contract dispute, it goes sideways, and you get a judgment against you. In Florida, your creditors cannot typically touch your home. If you go back several years, O.J. Simpson, after he got the big lawsuit and verdict from the Goldmans, moved to Florida and bought a really big house and was insulated for the purchase price of that house from creditors coming after him. So there's a million reasons why people move to Florida. Some are
I'm glad you went there.
more virtuous than others.
I can certainly understand that. So, all right, let's talk about senior citizens. Where do we start?
So, you know, we say elder law starts at 40, and people laugh at us, but the reality is when we're thinking about things that are going to affect seniors, there's a lot of planning strategies that we want to implement prior to becoming seniors. There is insurance products, there's life insurance, there is long-term care insurance. If you wait until you're 75 years old and you try to buy long-term care insurance, technically they can write the policies up to about age 83, 84. But the premiums are horrible and they become unaffordable. So if you're interested in figuring out how to structure your assets and structure your estate to avoid or get help with the need for long-term care in the future, you probably should start sooner than later. That being said, Florida is arguably the best place in the country to get old and sick in because we have the laws that are the most favorable to allowing seniors to legally and legitimately shelter their income and assets and still receive public benefits for those long-term care items. So my largest asset protection plan was $5.4 million. We sheltered all of that within 45 days, and we had Medicaid come in and pay $16,000 a month for that gentleman's nursing home for the last 3 years of his life. So you can plan last minute in Florida. However, it's always best practice to get educated prior to the house being on fire.
Be prepared. Be prepared. So in estate planning and asset protection, it's not just for the wealthy.
No, I mean, a lot of people think that, you talk about trusts, and people say, well, if you're not a millionaire, you don't need a trust. Well, certainly trusts are great for millionaires, but I've done a million trusts for little old ladies in Pasco County that live in a mobile home and have a little piece of property and a little bank account.
Sure.
It's still cheaper than going through probate. I have a video on my website. It's called Probates for Suckers. And it literally just talks about how the only people that make out in the probate process are the lawyers who are making money. So if you can plan your estate to avoid the probate process, you're doing yourself, and most importantly, your beneficiaries a service, because they're getting more of your stuff and they're getting it quicker without it having to sit in the court system for 6 to 12 months and be babysat by an attorney through the process who's charging fees.
Exactly. You have a sense of comfort for people. I would not think twice about coming to you because I'm understanding what you're talking about. A lot of people get a little bit shy going to an attorney because they feel that they have to know what they know. That's why you're there, is to help us.
If this stuff were easy, I wouldn't have a job.
That's right.
So the reality is, all of our consultations are no cost to the community. It's our opportunity to just meet with you, discuss what your needs are, and how we can help you. And it's a very calm, very conversational setting. I promise you, you will know more leaving my office than when you came in. And if there's something that I have brought up that you see a value in, you'll want to write me a check. And if there's nothing, then you still leave with the education.
I was just going to say that 5-star rating. Did you see that? 5 stars.
We are blessed to be the best and highest rated estate planning and elder law firm in the state of Florida for over 2 years now.
That's excellent, because I'm sure you have your challenges with dealing with the elderly, you know, especially if they have some issues going on with brain function and all of that.
Cognitive issues are always a thing. One quick point for everyone is if you or a loved one are diagnosed with a dementia-related illness, don't think it's too late to plan. As long as you understand who your family members are and who you trust with important decisions like legal, financial, and medical decisions, we can still execute documents that are important even after a diagnosis of a dementia-related illness. Many people think it's too late, and then eventually it does become too late. Then we're dealing with guardianship. You're spending thousands of dollars on a court process that is unnecessary if you get in and see the attorney sooner than later.
Very good. Well, we are almost through with our visit here, and I could talk to you all day long. There's so much to learn, and it would be great if you guys called this gentleman, Mr. Michelangelo. You're a member of the Chamber of Commerce with Upper Tampa Bay, right?
I have been. I've been a member on and off for probably about 10 years now.
10 years. How's it helping your practice?
I mean, it's great. We get opportunities all the time to do cool stuff, and we also get other business owners who they may not need our services today, but I've had instances where people that have been members 10 years ago, you know, call me and say, hey, I remember you do this. My mom needs something, or my wife or husband needs something. So we're able to jump in whenever and wherever, but the Chamber's been great for us. I recommend for any business owner in the area to seriously consider a membership. It's very a low-cost item for the amount of resources and the connections that are available through the Chamber.
Isn't that the truth? And they're a very active chamber with Upper Tampa Bay. If you happen to own a business, you may want to check into it. I'm so glad that you were able to take advantage of my Chamber TV today.
I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, it's getting this information out there. And as you were saying, people coming from 10 years ago, guess what? They've added a few years to their lives.
Yes. Two constants in life. We're not getting younger and we're not getting healthier. So at some point, you're going to need me.
You know, that is so true. So think about it. Just to get the education, complimentary visit with you, consultation.
Absolutely.
So whether you retain this gentleman or not, you can still leave us some amazing information. I mean, I learned a lot from just now. I'm a senior citizen and proud of it. And I feel like I'm pretty healthy, but hey, tomorrow isn't promised. And you just never know what can happen in your life with health, with pandemics and all the craziness going around globally. So make some right decisions and call Mr. Michelangelo, Mortellaro.
Done.
Done. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, welcome back into My Chamber TV. We are the heartbeat of the Tampa Bay community, and today we are featuring their Upper Tampa Bay Chamber of Commerce. I'm Barbara Marville Kelly. Thanks for joining us, and with me is Dave McKinley with VFW Post 12186.
That's correct.
All right. So it's great to have you with the show. And I think did you say you had seen a little bit of the show before?
I've seen a couple of clips, and it was definitely an opportunity. I wanted to come down and network a little bit and see who's who in the zoo, right? And see what else we can do to kind of get our word out there and share some information.
Perfect. What is your word?
All right, so the VFW initially, right, starting back in the late 1800s, it kind of goes back with veteran groups that were getting together from those that have served in overseas and risk-rich environments, and they were looking for additional assistance, work in legislation, and things like that. And so the VFW, the Veterans of Foreign Wars, was officially chartered in 1939 or 1936. And we've continued to grow ever since. We're already up to 1.5 million members between us and our auxiliary partners.
Very nice. Now, you've been with them since 2006. Share some of your experiences.
Well, they've been a lot of help throughout the years. Like I said, we've served in a lot of risk-rich environments. And so what we try to do is get Marines, sailors, airmen, guard, everybody really together to work with each other and be a support network for what we do together. And we've served overseas before, but we want to continue to come back here. We've got skills and expertise and experiences that we want to share within our community and continue to serve.
Absolutely. So our vets, I'm guessing you just would interview and talk with just about anybody to give them the help that they're seeking out. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Not just like what we're doing here today, but within the chamber, we continue to go out and find training, education, resources, and again, networking so that we can get those skills and experiences that we've had together in the past and give them a new way forward here in the community.
Very good. So why Oldsmar?
So Oldsmar, we found a kind of a gap, and Oldsmar is a fantastic city. They've been recognized as a Purple Heart City. They've got the Veterans Memorial that's there. It's a beautiful site if you ever get a chance to go there. They've got the Veterans Advisory Board, and all of those things we saw a gap in our own community that there wasn't a Veterans of Foreign Wars organization there. So we saw that as a chance to come back and set a post up there.
Very good. So who's the auxiliary?
So the auxiliary is, I always talk about us as veterans as the ones that have served overseas in those environments. However, we don't go through that on our own. Really, the auxiliary is made up of family members, parents, grandparents, sons, daughters, siblings, and they go through an awful lot of these challenges in a much different way. Oh, yeah. But we share those experiences, and what we do is within the members of the VFW and our auxiliary, we really partner up very well to continue to do things within the community and support each other.
I think that would be one of your best support groups with
Absolutely.
the families because they're the ones left behind.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, thank you for your service, that's for sure.
I appreciate that.
And you've been a member with the Chamber for how long?
We joined the Chamber just about a year ago, and everything that they've offered us is nothing but gratitude, not just for our service, but the fact that we get a chance to go out there and spread our word so that we can continue to grow. That's a big deal. That's
so, I love to hear this. We're very supportive of our vets, and we love the Upper Tampa Bay Chamber because what they do, it's just, they have so much, and they do so much for everyone, everyone in the community. Now, you have some notes on the newsletter I see there. That you
I do.
To share.
There was just a couple notes. The Upper Tampa Bay newsletter put out this recent one, and I wanted to recognize the fact that the Post, even in its second year of existence, that the VFW from National would recognize the team as an All-American Post. And that's no easy feat. Our commander, Dave Baer, puts it best, and that's that it's a team effort, and we're all in this together. We're excited to partner there in Oldsmar within the city. Roger Shinholster is also our quartermaster, and what they do is make sure that all of our books and maintained everything with our finances to ensure that we stay as a nonprofit organization. And the funds that we get and the funds that we receive are the ways that we can give back into the community. So there's nothing really that we keep. The more that we get, the more that we can give back. So those that participate in it, we appreciate.
Oh, of course. That's exciting. As far as the Chamber and the meetups, where do you guys meet?
Currently, we don't have a post home, and so what we've been doing is going over to Jack Willie's. They're another chamber member,
Okay.
And they've hosted us in the back room, even through all their challenges from the last major storm that they had. They've been going through some good renovations, so I appreciate them opening up their space. But they give us an opportunity to go back there, and we meet. We kind of talk about order of business, and then from there we go on to hanging out with one another and sharing some stories.
Great. Speaking of stories, it's not one of my favorite things to bring up, but I do want to mention to you about this pandemic that's been going on.
Sure.
How has that affected you guys? How have you been able to reach out? How is everyone doing?
We have a wide variety of members, right? And so we've had members within a VFW that go all the way back to World War II, or young men and women of today. And so when we get together, we try our best to go over who we've got, and that we distance the right way, right? But we have to do it by getting together, right? And I think that's what's important in the message. So of course, we distance ourselves, but in order to get together and really kind of share in this experience like we're doing right now, you have to sit down face to face. And so places like Jack Willie's or other members, areas in the chamber, they've really opened their doors up to us and given us the space to do that safely.
Okay, so do we have like a certain day, certain time
Yeah,
at Jack Willie's?
that's a great note, and that's the third Thursday of every month.
Third Thursday. That's always easy to remember.
Yeah, third Thursday of the month at 7 p.m. We meet in the southeast room that they have available.
Okay, excellent. So let's walk a veteran through, or a family member. How do they get started with getting involved with you?
Well, I would start by saying you can find us at VFW1286.org. It's an easy way to just Google it, or whatever media that you want to find.
Sure.
From there, there's a series of lines, but if you want to find us, the easiest way, honestly, is just VFW12186.org. And it's got contacts for myself, it's got contacts in there for the post commander, and anybody else that needs information that's available.
Excellent. We just showed the membership. If you go to that link, you'll be able to get more information. So is it okay to touch on some of the different things issues and in today's times, why our vets are calling you, or family members?
Sure. Well, I would tell you this, that there's a number of different reasons why people probably get together. And it's not always the commiserating effects over all the things and challenges that we may have gone through in the past. But it's a support network in which we don't just talk about things that are going well, but things that we've already accomplished in life and why we're a little bit different than, say, everything else. Look, we're comprised of members of the society, so we have societal issues sometimes. But with that, I think the bond that we generate together by serving the community and serving with each other overseas really strengthens what we've got. And sometimes we just need to get together and be reminded of that, that we've already gone through these challenges, we've gone through these experiences, and it gives you a chance to come back and rechannel some of those skills and experiences into something more positive.
I can relate to exactly what you're saying, because there's a certain energy, there's a certain synergy when you can get physically with a meeting with someone or a group of people.
Absolutely.
And the social distancing appears to be working. I mean, I'm all for that.
Sure.
And when you can really continue to bond and pull those tools out of your toolbox that has already worked before and just remind everyone, I mean, that just makes sense.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, sure
So
does.
Is it every third Thursday of every month?
Right now we're meeting every third Thursday of the month.
Okay.
And then again on that website, you're able to go in there and find out contact numbers if you want to meet differently or separately or at a different time.
Okay.
We're able to do that.
Good. And I'm guessing that you probably have professionals in your group, or you can refer to professionals if someone needs to step out of the box and learn a little bit more.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
If they're having health issues, if they're having
We have
anxiety issues.
from all the myriad concerns of veterans affairs, medical, dental. If you're having concerns about claims and things that you're unsure of about the benefits that have been earned, there's somebody that within our post or within our organization that can walk you in the right way. And I think that is probably one of our greatest resources out of the physical bonding, getting together and to talk.
That's excellent. So veterans can learn things that they may not be aware of, the benefits that they're entitled
Absolutely.
to.
Even being here, so I'm recently retired myself. I spent the last 26 years in the Marine Corps, and you think, at those levels, you kind of know most of it. I came back home and I really didn't know what I didn't know, because I wasn't asking those questions before. So whether or not you've served 4, 6, or 26, there's always something that's new that's out there, and there's a resource. And whether or not it's with the VA down there, or even the gentleman you had on earlier, right? We sat down and talked about veteran benefits from a lawyer standpoint on how we can go through and find out what we're eligible for, and how can we obtain those.
Thank you, Dave.
Yeah,
I
appreciate
it. A lot of
it.
good information. Thanks for being there. We'll be right back. Hi, everyone. Welcome back into My Chamber TV. We're the heartbeat of the Tampa Bay community. I'm your host, Barbara Marville Kelly, and My Chamber TV is here to provide a lot of good information for you from local business owners to see what's happening in our community. And I have great pleasure introducing Quyen Trujillo for the second or third time. It's been about 5 years since we did an interview.
It has, and you haven't changed a bit.
Well, I was going to say the same to you. That's because we love life and we just stay young, right?
That's right.
So you're loving life, still doing real estate.
Yes,
okay.
absolutely.
And we were just being kidded by the crew saying we'll be here all day talking about real estate. And you can imagine that, because if you're not licensed in real estate, there are so many different things that you may not know and need to know for the protection of your property, your home, and all of that. So I'm going to turn this over to you, my dear. I'm a licensed real estate agent too, but I'm not active right now. So
you should be.
Let's hear what's going on today.
It is a great time to be in the market. It's a seller's market for sure.
Oh, yeah.
However, a lot of people say to me, why would I need a realtor? Because it's a seller's market. I can just sell it on my own. What people don't realize is a lot of the intricacies happen after the contract, right? Keeping it together.
Yes, exactly. And if you go in blind, you're going to end up calling some realtor asking for some help. I know that from experience. Is that correct?
Absolutely. There are over 10,000 realtors in Pinellas County, and and there's so many levels of experience. So you want to make sure that you have someone with the expertise to help you through the entire process.
There's so much truth to that. In fact, even my son didn't know a lot of different things, and he's a financial advisor. So he's up there. He's a professional, and we just found a home for him in East Lake Woodlands about a year and a half ago. I can't believe it. And the questions that he had made me realize the power of being a licensed agent.
Absolutely.
Because the schooling that we have to go through every 2 years to get relicensed and all of that. We may have people out there right now thinking of selling their home, and they're going, oh, should I, do it as a FSBO? Should I call a real estate? Why do we want to call you, Quyen?
Well, I have been a licensed agent for almost 10 years now. Not only that, I graduated from the University of South Florida with a finance degree, so I understand the whole investment process of real estate, being a part of that. real estate is one of those things where it's not just a one-size-fits-all for every single situation. Just because your son went through a specific situation doesn't mean that the next person is, and it's very specific to that person. My specialty is senior real estate. So what I do is when someone is downsizing and looking into moving into a community, they're not just selling their house, but they want to protect their assets and make sure that it's under some sort of a trust. If Michelangelo is going to be doing a trust for them, we want to make sure that it's totally protected, and then they're going into that community.
It makes a lot of sense, and the seniors really do need a lot of help with understanding in what's law, what isn't,
right,
and also how to prepare. So let's talk about that briefly. I mean, it's a seller's market. Oh my word!
Yeah.
What's it like out there trying to find a home these days?
As a buyer, it's very, very difficult because there is so much competition in the market. There's appraisal issues that we have to go through, and there are a lot of the inspection issues too. So you want to make sure that there is someone that's guiding you through that process, because like I said, with one circumstance, it doesn't mean it's going to translate to the next one.
You know, that's very true, especially when it comes to repairs and different things like that. Ask yourself a question. How old is your air conditioner, right? And the roof. Have you had any kind of appraisals done to see what the status is of the roof? These are all going to be things that make a difference when you're thinking of listing your home.
Right.
And for someone buying a home, correct?
Absolutely. So what I like to do is, I've been doing this for so long, so I can take a cursory look at the house just to make sure that we do those minor repairs to maximize the profits of the home. There are times, especially with seniors, where they just can't do that, and there's ways to get around that as well.
Sure. And as a licensed realtor and being involved in the community, you have kind of like a list of people to call. You're in the know. You're in the know with things that, you know, what you may need to have done, whether you're selling, whether you're buying. It's just a whole big picture.
Absolutely.
And I think that, well, we've been on our home for 23 years now, and we have no intentions of moving anytime soon, but I see just from friends and the experience in the real estate world how important it is to really be in the know. If you're thinking about purchasing a property and doing a remod, there's some serious research you need to look into, especially if it has already been remodeled. Now, you were doing real estate, I'm sure, when you heard all about the Poly B and all of that crazy stuff.
Absolutely, yeah. And actually, that's one of the things that I look for when I'm selling a home, because whether they want to take care of it in the front end or in the back end, it's going to have to be remedied.
It is, and that's exactly what happened to my son. And it was a real estate experience of knowledge with myself and my partner at the time,
right,
to say, hey, wait a minute, we got to look into this. Sure enough, there was Poly B, but it wasn't in the home. It was only in the remod. So that's all.
Interesting.
It was very interesting. So they've completely remodeled. And it's the different little questions that you may not ever even think of. You walk in, and it's all emotional. It's a beautiful home, beautiful property, location, location, location. The price is right. Here you go. Here's my offer, right?
Right.
And then the craziness starts.
Well, I actually showed a house. It was funny. We walked in. Everything looked beautiful. It was a flipped home, and what they neglected to do was add in the bones for a washer-dryer. So it looked like it had the space for a washer-dryer, but it didn't have the mechanisms to actually hook in those appliances.
Oh, boy.
Crazy,
How did you
right?
pick up on that?
Well, I saw it. It was something that I always look for, but it's not something that's obvious to most people, but you got to make sure that there's a water connection. I think what happens is a lot of people get so distracted over the pretties.
Yes,
the pretty counters, the pretty lighting, all of those pretty things. You forget to look at the details in the home.
That's right. And it is about the details, because it can ruin a whole offer, just, you know, cause the thing to shut down. But I think, well, we have about 3 minutes and a few seconds here remaining. What do you think about 2021?
2021.
Is that a loaded question?
It is so loaded, and if only I had that crystal ball. What I can tell you for right now is that interest rates look so amazing. And so I think I heard from one of the lenders, and correct me if I'm wrong, isn't a 1% interest rate increase decreases the purchasing power by 10% or something like that?
I'm not 100% sure on that, but what I will say for anybody when it comes to financing, because you just triggered my memory bank here, is if you are thinking of financing, and maybe not right now, maybe in a year, get with your real estate agent or someone that you know of that can help you plan for the future, especially if you've had credit issues, right?
Yeah.
Call Quyen, and I'm sure she'll set you up where you've got financing people that you can hook them up with.
Absolutely.
And they can start from right now repairing their credit,
right,
or maybe doing a few things to their home if they're thinking of selling and then buying.
Mm-hmm.
And now is the time.
I think a lot of people are a little bit nervous about making that phone call. And what I would say to you is we can't improve until we know what situation we're in right now. So in order to improve your credit situation, we need to figure out where you are now so that we can get to that next step.
Yes, and you want to get to that next step. And sometimes people wait until you're like right in the thick of everything.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't think of that. Oh, wait a minute. No, my air conditioner is like 20 years old. It's hanging on by a bare thread. And you know, there's money investments that you have to put into the home before you're going to get it up to par and get it passed. So it's exciting. Now you've been doing real estate for how many years?
Almost 10 years
Almost
now.
10 years. Good for you. You're a rock star. Give me some of your favorite times and some of your most challenging times, because I know every realtor in the whole world could write a book.
Right. So one of my most challenging times when I first started real estate, funny, right? We're trying to learn all of these things. I had a squatter in one of the homes.
That doesn't surprise me. It doesn't.
I had no clue what to do. I'm still learning contracts. I'm still learning my clients, and I have to learn how to evict a squatter. It was quite challenging.
That was a home that you were listing or selling?
I was representing the buyer, so I had to. But it was a foreclosed home, so the listing agent was like, "I don't care. Whatever happens, happens."
That's the difference between a very conscientious real estate agent and one that doesn't care. Yeah. That just came up when you said that, because we do have commitment, and I know you're committed. I've known you for 5 years, half of your real estate career.
Right?
That's exciting. And you've been a member of the Upper Tampa Bay for how long?
I just started.
Oh, good.
Yay!
Oh, you are in store for a treat. So
much fun.
I know it is. You are really going to have a lot of fun. I thank you for coming on today.
Thanks for having me. It's so good to see you again.
Good to see you, too. I think you ought to do a real estate show, because you could really fulfill
a lot
of questions. Let's do it. Right. All right. We thank you for being with us, and we'll be right back. Hi, everyone. Welcome into My Chamber TV, the heartbeat of the Tampa Bay community. I'm Barbara Marville Kelly, your host for the Upper Tampa Bay Chamber of Commerce. Easy for me to say, right? And I just want to let everyone know that we're here at the Water Oak Seafood and Steak Bar. Tom Price is the owner here and general manager. And same difference. You've got to know a lot, do a lot, be a lot, right? And then we also have Savannah Mason. Yes. Hi, Savannah. Hi. What a beautiful girl and representation here.
Thank you.
So what is your position?
I'm the bartender.
Awesome. Oh,
yes.
That sounds like fun.
Yes.
You have to know a lot, too.
Yes.
Well, it's great to have you guys on My Chamber TV. When I asked Tom just before the show how long he's been here, I mean, this looks very well established and all. And you just opened when?
We opened December 26th of 2019, so coming up on our year anniversary.
So you were open 2 months and closed 2 months?
For COVID.
And now you're back again.
And we're back, and we're very happy with our business, and our regulars are coming back. The locals have taken hold of us for many reasons, our food, our staff.
So, yeah, it's all about the support. And if you could just see this restaurant, it is absolutely beautiful, inside and out. Let's talk about that. Right, Savannah, what about the social distancing, and how do you have it set up here? And then we're also going to be talking about how clean you have it, and
Right.
why and how.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, we, separated our tables as well as our bar chairs and everything, and as well as outside, and we try to add a few more tables outside to make up the loss of inside, but either way, it's going really well.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. And so what about your disinfecting? I notice here that you're using a sanitizer called FS Amanez sanitizer.
Yes. And
What does that do?
We purchased our own sanitizing machine for our 3 restaurants, the Water Oak Old Bay Cafe and Hog Island Fish Camp in Dunedin. And once every 3 to 4 days, we completely sanitize inside, outside, ceiling fans, computer monitors, everything is done. And one thing that we see here as well as Dunedin is the locals are always walking. They see us out, they stop and ask us, "What are you doing?" And they were like, "We're sanitizing." And that attracts more people to us because they know we're serious about cleanliness and about sanitizing and about protecting our customers as well as our staff.
I love to hear that because my husband and I don't go out a whole lot, but when we do, we want to feel safe and we want to know that we're going to have good food, good drinks, and you've already fulfilled that just by sharing a little bit. So whoever wants to jump in, I want to hear about your favorites on what you specialize in, or maybe your own personal favorites, or your customers' favorites.
I would have to say one of our best entrees and my favorites is our crab crusted grouper,
Ooh.
which is phenomenal. It comes with Walt's crab cake on top of it, and it's baked, and it's phenomenal. Our appetizers, our steak bites are great. Our braised octopus is awesome. Our grouper bites are one of the most popular on the menu. And then for our drinks, our specialty drinks that Savannah makes.
Yeah, one of them has to be the cucumber bliss, which is very nice and refreshing.
I would guess so.
Yeah.
What other ones do you have?
We have like the Pinellas Paloma, that's really good, as well as our happy hour. We have very nice happy hour drinks and happy hour food on there as well. So
And, that's exciting. What about Sunday brunch? I want to hear about that too.
yeah, so we have bottomless mimosas and Bloody Marys, and it's going to be a brunch with some lunch, but we have some awesome brunch items as like crab cake Benedict and steak and potatoes. It's excellent.
Very
Yeah.
nice. And you have 2 other restaurants.
We do. We have Old Bay Cafe at the Dunedin Marina. It's been there for 13 years. Walt Wickman is the chef and owner of all 3. And we have Hog Island Fish Camp, which is right on alternate 19 in Dunedin. And I can remember in 2016, Walt mentioning to me that he would like to do steak and seafood in Safety Harbor. So this has been on his mind for 4 years.
Well, I was just going to
And-
ask you your connection with the Water Oak here.
Yep, I met Walt 13 years ago when he opened Old Bay Cafe, and we became friends. And I've just been knowing him the whole time, and I knew what he wanted to do and knew what his outlook was for this. And it inspired him to come to Safety Harbor. We have a beautiful location. We're right in downtown on 2nd Avenue and Main Street. And so Walt invited me in to be part of this organization with him, and I appreciate it. And we have done very well here since we opened, and we're proud of it.
That is so fabulous. And you've been in the hospitality business for many, many years, all your life.
My whole life I've been in the hospitality business in one way or another.
You know, there's so many challenges in that,
Oh, yeah.
especially to here in Florida, opening
Oh,
up
yes.
restaurants and all. But yet you stayed in that. Is it a passion that you've always had that draws you to it?
Yeah, I think it's my passion for people and personalities and talking to people and hanging out and seeing people. And we were fortunate here because we have a lot of outside seating, as you said. So it lets us work through this whole pandemic.
Yes, yes. I think the restaurants, this is just my own personal thought, is the restaurants that do have plentiful in the outside seating are probably going to be the ones that have a higher survival rate out there, unfortunately. But it just seems like in the great communities that we have, from what I've learned in doing these interviews with My Chamber TV, these communities pull together like you wouldn't believe. I had no idea that how everybody pulls together and does what needs to be done. You join the chamber and you have a plethora of not only members and engagement, but so many different things to do. And I know maybe they've been limited during this pandemic, but you have found a wonderful way to get yourselves out there, do the thing with sanitizing and cleansing and still keeping, you know, a positive attitude with what's going on. How long have you been, the same amount of time,
Same
Savannah?
amount of time, yes. Yeah.
So what brought you into it?
I wanted to just switch it up from the location where I was at from Clearwater Beach and come to a main street. And honestly, just working on Main Street on a really nice location.
Yeah,
So,
it is. This is a really fabulous happening
is,
town in
yes.
Safety Harbor.
Yeah.
You're at such a beautiful, beautiful location. There's so much to do. You can come here and hang out inside, outside, have great drinks. Come on a Sunday, Saturday, or Sunday brunch. Let's give the hours, too. Again.
We're open from 11 a.m. to 9 Monday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 10 Friday, Saturday. Brunch is 11 to 2 on Sunday. And then we also have the brunch and lunch menu on Sunday.
You know, this is really great because you've got all these hours open. You don't have special hours due to the pandemic. I mean,
Right.
you're full out open now. Aren't we blessed to be able to be in that
Absolutely.
position here in Florida, though?
We're fortunate, and we've social distanced all our tables, and our customers know that. And we'll have a customer reserve table and ask if this table will not be could be reserved, so they'll sit here by themselves, and we do whatever the customers would like.
So let me ask you this. All the restaurants don't have to do that, do they? Or do they?
It's up to them.
So it's optional.
They went back to 100%, but we did not. We wanted our customers and staff to feel comfortable, so we've decided it's for our best interest to take care of everybody.
See, that's what I go for. We will only go where you're at least doing that social distancing. What about wearing the masks? Wearing
Oh,
them
yes.
in
Oh, yes.
and
Absolutely.
then out and going to the restroom.
And
Yep,
staff,
yep.
all the staff wears masks all the time.
That's great. That's great. I mean, you make me want to come here. I think we are. I think we will be doing
Good.
that.
We'd love to have you.
Good.
So what other things can we talk about? Any other meals that our viewers would love to hear about that's different than other restaurants out there? Do you carry, that's what I wanted to ask you. Do you carry the same foods at the other restaurants, the same entrees?
We have a nice variety. Old Bay Cafe obviously is at the Dunedin Marina.
Sure.
A lot more fish and shrimp and items like that on the menu, whereas here we have steak and seafood.
Uh-huh.
So we're proud of our steaks, our fillets, our ribeyes, our hand-cut French fries. We don't buy French fries in a frozen bag and throw them in a frying machine and serve them. Surprised you can't hear Hobby back there right now hand-cutting fries.
I think I did.
And so that we pride ourselves on that as well.
Ooh, look at that. Boy, talk about some money shots of those foods. They look, I can almost smell and taste them right now. What would you recommend? If I wanted to come in for a seafood, what's impressed me with the first experience here?
Shrimp and scallop saganaki.
Oh, really?
Or the crab crusted grouper. Crab crusted grouper is definitely top of the list too.
Ooh, they both sound good. This would be a really nice place to come and visit with friends for a little party. What's your limit?
As far as groups, we won't put more than 10 at a table.
Okay.
And tables are all 6 feet apart. And on Wednesday nights, we do Wine Wednesday, which we have live jazz, as well as half price on all of our bottles of wine.
What time does that start?
That's all evening Wednesday, 6 to closing, and we have jazz from 6 to 9 on Wednesday night.
6 to 9. I'm writing all these. You can see I'm going to be back. And you have, yeah, it looks great. I love it. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, this painting is done by Christopher Still, who's a local artist from Dunedin. I think his gallery's in Tarpon Springs now.
Yes.
He was commissioned to do 10 of these type paintings
Ooh.
for the Capitol. The original is hanging in the Capitol building in Tallahassee. This is the only reproduction that he's done, and it's called In Ages Past, and he painted it in 2000, and we're very fortunate that he would let us get a reproduction of it to be the focal point of Water Oak.
Very nice. Well, we're out of time. I could talk to you guys all day. I'm getting hungry now. We'll be right back. Actually, thanks for joining us here for My Chamber TV, and check out the Water Oak Seafood and Steak Bar right here in downtown, the heart of Safety Harbor. Thanks for joining us.